Joy Kumar, just one question, what Shekhar just raised. Do you accept you failed on providing buses? The number of buses is really a poor performance by the Aam Aadmi Party.
Look, Shekhar, we are not again, sorry, Prannoy, we accept now people will think we are trying to deflect it. The fact was that a lot of our time also was building infrastructure for the Delhi bus depots. Now, we agree that we could have done we should have done a better job.
Which new bus depots have been made? Just name one.
Shekhar,
There were already 9,000.
That's nonsense.
Can I just complete?
Yeah, please complete.
We accept, Prannoy. I mean, we accept. So we are saying that, look, the Delhi school and the education, there has been a revolution.
That's really
on health front, we have done 50% of our job, lot to do. On transport, we recognize it. The last mile connectivity, the increase of Delhi buses, and we promise you, we are very aware of that. And we will do a decent job in the next couple of years.
That's honest enough. That's honest enough.
I want to make a point. When we talk
Let's
about...
just 1 second, JP Nadda speaking, 1 second.
Oh, okay.
वरिष्ठ लोग यहाँ उन्हें श्रद्धांजलि भी दे रहे हैं और उनसे प्रेरणा भी ले रहे हैं। 11 फरवरी 1968 को मुगलसराय जंक्शन, जो दीनदयाल उपाध्याय जंक्शन के रूप में जाना जाता है, उसके शंटिंग यार्ड में रहस्यमय तरीके से उनका पार्थिव शरीर मिला था और वो रहस्य, उनकी अंतिम सांसें कैसे गईं, ये रहस्य अभी भी बना हुआ है। पंडित दीनदयाल उपाध्याय भारतीय जनसंघ के संस्थापक में से एक थे। उन्होंने इसके स्थापना काल से भारतीय जनसंघ को आगे बढ़ाने का काम किया।
Okay. JP Nadda was actually on a different point. He wasn't speaking specifically about the Delhi elections.
Death and
So death anniversary
of Deendayal Upadhyay.
I want to make a point about this.
Yes, please do.
This cooperation between the centre and the state.
Right.
Sheila Dikshit, despite the fact that she comes from a different party, etc., I have never heard any BJP leader speak ill of her because she always maintained a very cordial relationship with them. Whatever may have been her tussles, etc., with them, it never came out in the open. So she could just pick up the phone and call any of the BJP leaders, and you know, that's how Delhi was run for the 15 years that she was CM. Kejriwal, on the other hand, called everybody names from top to bottom. How do you expect everybody to sort of cooperate with a man who calls you, I mean, all sorts of vile names? And I mean, you must have, regardless of your political differences, if you want to be the CM of Delhi, this is the capital of India, you need to know how to get along with the other side too.
He's done a reinvention though.
Now, yeah, in the last 2 months, I think he has. So maybe there's hope for the future.
But is it also, you need two hands to clap. Sheila Dikshit was at the time of Vajpayee and a different kind of...
There were other leaders too.
Has the BJP also become a little tougher?
No, but why isn't it the other states are not having the same problem, Prannoy? We have now today we've a lot more states which are not run by the BJP. We don't have problems with them.
They're all fighting, they're all at war with the BJP. Look at what's happening in West Bengal.
No, but also the power
West Bengal is not really the ideal state to talk about for any, you know.
No, but the power
But you're right,
the left of Mamata.
I mean, you're absolutely right about Kejriwal being...
he's toned down his rhetoric or whatever you want to call it in the last,
but it was
say,
very,
5-6
very
months.
tough. But has generally the tone of Indian politics changed for being more aggressive and antagonistic?
Well, from what I remember from my father's time, yes. They could be very nasty to each other, but it was done very politely.
But you know, here you have people calling Kejriwal a terrorist. You know what I mean? So while you can try to make this about both sides, there's clearly one side which has gone...
leaders a lot of names that they should not have.
Both sides. That's the important point. You were actually just mentioning Kejriwal, but it is two hands to clap. Yeah, that's true.
But well, to give credit to Sheila Dikshit, she managed to get both sides to clap. So let us give her credit where it's due.
See, the important point out here is the phase 4 of metro is being delayed by the Delhi government, whereas the metro under Vajpayee was the one who started and was lapped up by the Congress. So that's the difference you see.
In 1995 during the
phase 3 was also delayed.
Government.
Phase 3 was also delayed in Delhi. So and the problem squarely lies with AAP here.
But you know,
Delhi's infrastructure is starting to show signs of, let's say, wear and tear, and it needs now some investment. Otherwise, life is going to get more difficult on Delhi's
Did you want
roads
to
and
look at like some of the very
buses.
narrow margins?
Yeah, let's have a
like
look at that.
Because Atishi's margin is just come down to I think 50 seats. Like she's
We can have a
trading.
look at the there's still early days, but Shekhar,
Sorry, votes.
the bump has started.
Has started.
Yes.
Yeah. And Dora was just pointing out last
Can
time
I
there
go
was a
for lunch?
huge.
Can I go for lunch then? Done and siesta.
You got,
It's only 11
without
in the
you, there's no
Shekhar.
bump.
Wait till 12:30.
But you know, I don't think the BJP
these
has
are-
done as
Yeah.
badly as it was supposed
Just look
to
at
have
these
done.
narrow margins. That's
do you mean supposed to
just
have
shows
done?
how
Sorry,
things
in-
can
I mean,
still
we were
change.
expecting the BJP would be much lower than this.
But
the BJP is
compared-
hanging on to his vote.
Sorry,
actually.
BJP in Kalkaji
BJP is
leading by
hanging on to his
11
vote.
votes.
Yeah,
So-
that is Atishi's seat.
So now,
Kalkaji.
this is going towards the bump theory.
Yeah.
When BJP leads are much smaller, 2 figures. Aam Aadmi leads are bigger, either in large 2 figures or in 3 figures.
And no, last time we showed this
You're
graph.
a statistician. Oh, sorry, they call them now not statistics, data scientists.
Data scientist.
Yeah, you're a
Scientist. Vagyanik.
I can go that far, but no,
Vagyanik.
data
No, but
man.
actually,
But
hasn't
last
the
time we showed
collapse-
this graphic,
Yeah.
there were many more AAP seats
Yeah,
with small
yeah,
margins.
yeah.
Now they're almost all BJP seats with very small margins.
But the collapse of the Congress is actually saving up. You know, it's
Yes.
helping
Yes,
up.
yes, yes.
Because
Actually, the gap between the two is so low now.
The whole strategy of the Congress to collapse.
The Congress went in for voluntary harakiri. in order
They, as you
to,
said, voluntary
Yes.
poor candidates.
serve,
I think it was part of their strategy.
part of their
to see
strategy.
that they can keep
but
the B-
because
to
had
keep
the
the
Congress
BJP out.
not collapsed to this extent,
Amitabh,
you
They
want to
could be,
weigh
no, but hold on.
would not be
Radhika, there could be a
strong.
counter view to this. This could be the fact that the Congress actually in many of these seats where the BJP
Is
is
damaging the BJP.
no, is actually helping the BJP.
But
The
no,
fact that the
helping
BJP
the
is
BJP.
doing
Oh, I see.
better than last
let the
time
Congress
hang on,
is
but
because
had
of
the-
could
let
be
the
because of
Congress
Congress.
weigh on that
But had
while
the
the
Congress
rest of
not
us.
For instance, in
completely
Kalkaji,
finished off.
it's possible
Yeah.
that
Yeah, in
Congress is
Kalkaji,
eating.
the Congress candidate could be
Amitabh?
helping.
But you know,
BJP.
the BJP is not, perhaps the vote share, in terms of vote share, the BJP seems to have improved, but in terms of seats, it's still lower than 2013, 2008 and 2003. So it's, we are sort of talking about a BJP resurgence because the expectation was so low. But in absolute terms, it's not a good performance in terms of seats.
But if you look at the vote
Compared to
share,
expectations is always a wrong thing to do.
yeah, it is because I think 32% to now more than 40. I'm looking at the Election Commission website, and now they've got the leads and results for all seats. So it's
No,
showing
but not results.
leads.
Leads of only 3 rounds.
Well, they're
so
saying
votes do
results,
change.
result status. I mean, as of now, it's more than 40%.
But it's not results.
We
of
have Mr. Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay also joining us. He's a veteran journalist. He's also authored a biography on Mr. Modi some years ago. What are these results telling you, Mr. Mukhopadhyay? And even in this bump in the vote share that the BJP has, does it actually reflect then a rejection of hate politics and the divisive campaign of the BJP, or what does it tell you?
No, I think the collapse of the Congress has helped the BJP. I think that a fair amount of the Congress vote has shifted to the BJP and not to AAP. These are the voters who stayed on in the last elections with the Congress because they did not agree with the politics of Aam Aadmi Party while having disagreements with the BJP. I think if we actually at the end of it see that a large number of Congress votes are shifting to the BJP, maybe that's something we must keep an eye on, whether something like that is going to happen in Bengal also or not, which is possibly one of the most crucial contests coming up.
CPM vote has switched to the BJP.
Yes, it has. Now if the Congress vote also starts shifting in a major way towards the BJP, then it
In Tripura, Congress
So,
vote
Nidhi-
shifted to the
BJP.
To the BJP.
So
Yeah.
Nidhi, in the EC data, what is the Congress's vote share?
4.2%.
4.2%. So
the total
6%.
collapse.
No, but that
Come down to
6% may have
10.
actually
Come down
gone
to
to the BJP,
Yes.
That's what he's saying.
That's
not
what I'm
necessarily
saying.
to the Congress.
Because
to
if
the,
you look
to
at
AAP.
it, the BJP is not doing as badly as most were expecting, especially after the exit polls. Everyone was saying
That's the
that
point
they
I'm
are
trying to
going to
make.
be
The Congress may actually
somewhere in the range of
be
60.
helping the
Congress is helping the
BJP,
BJP.
not the AAP. Last time around, it was the other way around. This time, they may actually be helping the BJP.
So
Congress plus BJP vote is saying about the same. Congress plus BJP vote is staying about the
That's
same. Congress
interesting.
going down, BJP picking up.
Yeah.
AAP is holding on to a fair amount
But
to its
so is
vote.
BJP holding on to its vote
No,
because
BJP is
obviously-
pushing it up.
And
BJP
pushing
is
it up.
10%,
BJP is
Congress is
gaining
down.
vote share,
Because the Congress is
going
down.
by EC data.
Right, I think we need to just bring in one other factor, Sudhindra, that the entire campaign, particularly the last 3 weeks, was all about CAA, NRC, hatred, put them in jail, send them to Pakistan. This is the first time post CAA being passed in Parliament that the people have spoken. And this is not reassuring for the BJP, is it?
Not at all. Earlier in the morning, your reporter interviewed two Muslim women at Shaheen Bagh. And the question put to them was Shaheen Bagh an issue in this election? And their response was so mature. They said that not at all. This election in Delhi was not fought on Shaheen Bagh. AAP did not. AAP, which is going to be the winner, did not fight it on.
Quite true, yes.
The BJP did it.
Tried to.
And not just the ordinary Karyakartas, but the party president. He said, आप यहाँ बटन दबाइए, वहाँ करंट लगना चाहिए, Shaheen Bagh में. So, if after all this, and as Ajay Kumar pointed out, the entire resources, leadership resources, money resources, even administrative resources were marshalled for this campaign, and yet they have done badly, what does it mean? It means that when the people have spoken, they have spoken against the tactics as well as the content of the campaign. And if at all the BJP goes into an introspection mode, the Congress of course has to do a lot of introspection. If the BJP has to do introspection, then they must move away from this polarizing politics, toxic campaign, and not give importance to the UP Chief Minister and all that happened. It has not worked.
Will this make the BJP think twice about making the CAA and NRC a nationwide issue?
So let me answer you in a very definitive.
Reflection?
I'll answer you in a very definitive manner. If it had been a national election, CAA and NRC would have been certainly an issue. Since it was a local election, it had a partial impact. The vote share increase is reflecting in that, and BJP is not going to rethink about it. NRC is I'm not an official spokesperson, but it's my opinion.
Yeah.
NRC is a constitutional, statutory and legal obligation of every government in every country. It was not done after 1951. That is the problem which is being created. If it had been done every 10 years, things would have been very easy for any government to do it. Since it was not done, certain problems are there. I think when the real rules and NRC structure or the setup comes, I think those fears can be taken care of.
I mean, debate on the NRC aside, I actually agree with Deshat and Nigam Prannoy, because I think it is more nuanced than that. If you go out and spoke to people who said they were voting up, they didn't have a problem with the CA or they didn't have a problem with the NRC. It's just that they didn't understand the resonance of it for an assembly election. But if you had a Lok Sabha election, in all eventuality, the BJP would sweep Delhi. It could well end up being 7-0 again, and also, precisely on the back of possibly CA and NRC.
That's a bit too much speculation of what will happen, because
that's the feedback from the ground.
Let's just bring in Sheshadri Chari here. What we have found is that Hindus have begun to worry that under an NRC and with the religious background, Hindus will also be affected, because when somebody comes to your house, an inspector, and asks for your documents, he has the power to say doubtful, and then it takes you 10 years to prove you're not doubtful. Now, giving an inspector that much power, where a phone call can say, is ghar mein, make him doubtful because he's a little anti-us, or he'll ask for a bribe. Now, the bribery and being in the opposition and being called doubtful for your political views is not religion based, and Hindus have started realizing that it can affect them. Is that a worry for the BJP and this CA NRC?
No, this is a very, this is as vague and hypothetical as your exit poll is.
Exit polls are spot on. By the way, exit polls are spot on. Thank you very much. So it's spot on. Thank you.
I don't think
you didn't even do one.
I don't think. No, I mean to say that Hindus are worried about NRC Hindus are worried about NRCs. I mean, there is no empirical evidence for it.
There is, sir.
Unless
there is. There's a
somebody
lot of
conducts.
evidence coming now
No,
on
unless somebody
data.
conducts.
And
No.
as accurate
No.
data as the exit polls are, by the way, spot on. Never use that phrase again. That was a blunder. There's a lot of empirical evidence that
It was you
others
who
are
used
worried.
to. You have been issuing health warnings as far as exit polls are concerned.
Sheshadri, you may be declared doubtful.
Prannoy, you're fear-mongering now. Let me come in.
Nobody is going to be declared doubtful. Nobody is going to be declared doubtful. I think the Citizenship Amendment Act has to be explained further by this government. That is one thing that if I can hold against this government, it is this, that these things have not been explained properly. I think once the things starts falling in its place, it will be there. As far as NRC and citizenship register and all those things are concerned, it is still a work in progress. Nothing is final yet. There are a lot of rules and regulations which have to be still promulgated. These rules and regulations and then the way they are conducted will all come out in the open, and then you will see that it falls in its place. And then it is also going to coincide with 2021 census.
No, but
so it's a much larger issue.
Hold on, Seshadri Chari, just a second. To the point that Prannoy was making about the anxiety that is not just the minority community, you have the evidence of Assam. You have the evidence of Assam, right?
Agreed.
So just hold on a second. So in Assam,
absolutely,
it was conceded by the BJP that of the 19 lakh who were excluded from the NRC, a large majority were from the majority community,
Hindus,
which is why you actually went against the NRC. So from supporting the NRC, you outright rejected the NRC precisely because the outcome didn't turn out the way you wanted. And there's nothing to suggest that if you scale up, the error rate could actually be higher.
More and more Hindus can
Assam has a very different problem. Besides Assam, Northeast also has a different problem. So
no, that's
this issue has to be dealt with. That's a different issue.
It's the fact that it's the process, right? Any large scale exercise of this kind is bound to have an error rate. And if anything that we've learned from Assam is that the error rate is astonishingly high.
Exactly.
Correct. That is why Assam was treated differently, and this time also after CAA there were protests from Assam. The BJP leadership in Assam protested against it. A section of the BJP also threatened to go against this. That is why this had to be explained in a different manner as far as Assam is concerned. And CAA has nothing to do with NRC.
So
CAA has nothing to do with Muslims in this country. So these things will have to be dealt with in a different manner.
CAA and NRC was made by the Home Minister. About he made the chronology clear in Parliament. But anyway,
Amitabh, yes. 2003 Vajpayee government and 2009 under the multinational identity card project, the central government actually ran an NRC in 13 districts, including one in Delhi. The population covered was 31 lakhs, and only 45% of people were able to prove their citizenship under this actual NRC done by the central government, which means that more than half of people, mostly landless laborers, married women, migrants, were unable, many of whom Hindu of course, to show any proof of citizenship. So if you scale this up nationwide, you're going to have, as you said, very, very high exclusion rates.
Yeah, okay. The other, I just want to add to one thing. The other,
Aadhaar was not there.
The other larger point is that collecting data is going to become difficult. Swaminathan Iyer wrote in a column in the TOI that all data collectors are now being seen with suspicion. So you're not going to be able to enumerate NSSO data. You're not going to be able, because the exit pollster
that's already started happening.
Said that his enumerators were not being allowed because people were scared this was some sort of data collection.
There's a worry that even the census may get affected.
So it will lead to
Mr. Shivam Chabra of the BJP joining us again, of the BJP spokesperson joining us again, and Mr. Chabra was with us this morning when the picture was very different. Mr. Chabra, now the AAP at 57, the BJP at 13. Are you ready to concede defeat?
The bump.
Not yet. Let the final tally comes in. Only then I'll be in a position to say something. But I think we are still hopeful. I think still the trends coming in, not the results. Another hour to go. Maybe the clarity is going to be there. But yes, I'm hopeful of hitting the mark again.
You're hopeful of closing that gap between 13 and 57. There are quite a few seats where the margins are close, but I think you would concede that that's a very big gap.
Yes. No. I think more than 25 seats are there where the margin is less than 500.
Right.
So you need to wait till another hour's time, and let's see. I think we are closing towards the magic number. Let's see.
So, but Shivamji, would you say that one of the problems that you faced is that you didn't have a very active, strong state unit in Delhi? That you couldn't, for all these years, you've not been able to put together a united front. You don't have strong leadership in your Delhi unit.
See, I don't agree to this, Srinivas. We must not forget that we won all the 7 parliamentary seats in Delhi. I think we've got Dr. Harshvardhan ji, Dr. Pravesh Verma is there, Ramesh Duri ji is there, Vijayendra Gupta ji is there, Vijay Goyal is there. Everybody's come together
that was a
fight
national election
this time. So,
that was a Modi election.
But yes.
But in an assembly election,
that is fine. But again,
all
the leadership
these leaders
is from
were
Delhi.
actually seen as fighting with each other.
Delhi only, na. No. It is not logical at all. And I think we fought as a unit. And I think that is the result. That the vote share is increasing, the number of seats are increasing, and I think we are inching closer to the magic number. That is the reason. That is the basic reason.
All right, we have Shalini Singh of the Aam Aadmi Party also joining us. I think it's actually quite sweet, Mr. Chhabra, that you're smiling the way that you are after your answers, which is actually really quite sweet. Shalini Singh, is the Aam Aadmi Party willing to now say that yes, we won? I mean, is that clear now to you, or are you still a little nervous about some of these seats?
Yeah.
She's also smiling.
No, we are not at all. No, we are not at all nervous. We were very, very sure that we are going to come back with full majority, with a sweeping majority, and we are going to form government, and that is what we are doing. And whatever we had claimed, we are coming back to that. Our claim was that we will come back with a vast majority, and that stands right now.
But ma'am, can I ask you a question? Do you want to apologize to the Election Commission for doubting the EVMs, or is your result because of the EVMs?
No, we are not going to apologize. It is very good to be alert as a citizen, as a party. We all need to be alert, and rather I will tell all the other parties that you should follow the same suit. And we were very vigilant. We were apprehensive because the kind of claims, the kind of tweets that were coming out, and we have seen how BJP has been trying to tamper things, how they have been trying.
Do you agree that it's been a fair counting?
I will just we are just saying that we were alert and we follow that, and all parties should follow that.
In retrospect, was it a free and fair and correct election? The counting has been correct.
Pardon?
In retrospect, when you look back at this election and the voting procedures, has it been a fair election with proper counting? This vote count is correct.
We will thank Election Commission for keeping it fair and transparent. If there has been anything, we found out videos. There were videos which were also floated on social media that how the EVMs machines are being unloaded to place where it should not be unloaded. So we were apprehensive, and that is why we raised a voice. And I don't see there is anything wrong if our ministers, if our party volunteers, they raise anything which they don't see is as per the process. And we will thank Election Commission that they have by far kept the election fair, and whatever our doubts were, they have taken a note of it and always worked towards that.
Sorry,
that's fine.
You tried hard, but
no, she said it's a fair election.
But it's part of the problem. Nalini Singh's joining us. Mr. Chandan Mitra of the Trinamool Congress also with us. Nalini Singh, this is part of the problem. This whole EVM conspiracy theory that keeps coming up in every election. That the Election Commission itself hasn't been able to put, these doubts at rest. For whatever reason, people have those doubts. That they haven't been effectively able to counter that for some reason. There is eroded faith in the EC itself today.
Well, there's no session there.
That's for sure. And so it was when we had an election commissioner who had thrown away his bureaucratic background and all his history, and then he had said that the election commission is what was going to be his legacy. He went all out, Nidhi, and I think that we have to say that the election commission within itself, I don't need to mention what we see. So therefore, there is definitely just now a feeling that the election commission will have to gain more credibility for the next. Otherwise, we are, and from today's, when you're showing 14 for BJP, which is, it's 5 times more seats perhaps that they can get. I think the country is in for, how do you call it, election stress disorder. Because this is what's going to happen, because if the hate campaigns if the 5 times jump is going to be attributed to the hate campaign, then I'm afraid more of that might ensue, which is going to be something. Then let's go back to the election commission and say, whether do they recognize that there is a hate campaign surge, that it is going into the subsoil of India, and therefore for me these are serious questions.
I think it also Chandan Mitra, would you agree again, also looking at West Bengal now, that one way of reading this is a rejection of hate, the other way of looking at it is that this is actually a hate bump, that the BJP's vote share, at least at the moment.
I mean, in the sense that if after all the hate you get 14 out of 70 seats, is that a strategy you want to carry on? The two.
But the vote share, Prannoy, is showing at least it's gone up to 40%.
Don't look at vote shares right now, by the way, because it's so early.
It's too early, yeah.
Vote shares we always look at later, but it still could be an increase.
There are lots of points that have emerged in this. But first of all, I would say that BJP's vote share has always been between 35 and 40. So,
no, it's been early 30s.
32,
34.
Early 30s.
You know, it's in that
mid-30s.
Mid-30s.
Okay.
Mid-30s. I am not a psephologist, but I can say it's mid-30s. To that extent, I think BJP has come back to its original vote share. And for that, if it has resorted to what you call the hate campaign part, it is not unexpected. I don't think it has given them any spectacular bump. If they were to get a spectacular bump, they should have won the election. But they have not. And to that extent, I think that shows the limits of any kind of...
Isn't that exactly what they're counting on in Bengal? To actually have a far more high-pitched hate campaign. It's already started. So do you really see them changing track in Bengal?
Well, you see, Bengal is a different kettle of fish. You must remember there will be some degree of anti-incumbency, because you have had Mrs. Mamata Banerjee being in power for a long time. Earlier you had the CPM there for 34 years, which means that after a long period of government being in power, there is some automatic anti-incumbency.
Although I must come in at one point as a proud Bengali to say, last year the state with the highest growth rate in GDP was West Bengal. 12.59% highest.
Yeah,
and I'm saying that as a Bengali.
That is to Mamata Banerjee's credit.
What Bengal does, if the rest of India does tomorrow.
Incidentally, hold on. Bangladesh is going to grow at 8.1% this year GDP versus
Bangladesh is doing brilliantly.
8.1%.
Bangladesh is not West Bengal, please.
All Bengalis of various kinds.
I do have enough Bengali blood in me.
That's right. 12.5 and Bangladesh 8.
That's incredible.
Yeah, number 1 in all the states, 12.5.
Bengal. Last year.
Yes, number 1 in growth rate of GDP, state GDP, central government figures.
Even higher than Kerala, higher than
everybody else. Number 1.
That's incredible, because GDP.
She won't believe it because it's Bengal.
But that's also because GDP
Bengal
is so low anyway.
I'm trying to believe it, but GDP is not something one associates with Bengal.
Is there a
Chandan, please do something.
I agree with her.
Generally, GDP, generally as a concept, GDP as a concept.
With friends like this, Bengalis like this, what chance do you have?
That's the problem always. Bengalis are their own worst enemies.
Conversation turned into.
But is there a low base effect there?
No.
Yes, very low.
No, 4 or 5 years.
Because number 1 is Bengal, number 2 is Bihar.
Oh, I see.
Why do you always try and... Why are you...
In terms of high, fast growing states. Why do you have to always spoil the?
Party, man.
That's true.
But Bangladesh is coming first. Say wow.
We have the culture.
Why let facts get in?
We have the culture.
Bangladesh is close to us in
Sure
GDP
about that
Intellectual
anymore?
power.
with the
Yeah,
country.
Bangladesh
Per
is
capita
doing
GDP
India.
overall,
Yeah.
Bangladesh is
Culture
getting
and
very close
intellect.
to us. Will overtake us.
Bangladesh is
GDP.
different from West Bengal.
Okay.
Forgive me for
Culture.
pointing it out, but it's
There was
very, very
something
different from
we
West
had,
Bengal.
and
Do
which
you
we
know the
have
latest
just-
figures show there's
just
more
fallen by the
immigration
wayside.
to
Yes, they're going
Bangladesh?
back.
That's true.
Going
Very
back,
sad.
they're going back, migrants,
Yes.
because the economy there is improving.
So maybe we should invest more. But economy has done well, believe me. Economy has done reasonably well and greatly improved from the recent past. I think that the Bengal is looking towards new future.
Right. If I can just also, sorry, we have the BJP's, just a second, we have Ashwini Upadhyay of the BJP joining us on the show. Thank you very much indeed, Ashwini ji, for joining us. Ashwini ji, will we see now a shift, at least somewhat of a shift, back on the economy, back on jobs, back on the real issues which are hurting people? Will it be less goli and gali and more bijli, pani, naukri?
No, development is our core agenda. Since 2014, BJP-led government, whether it is state or central government, to our core focus is the development, corruption-free development.
But
that's why we are able to reach the poorest, not only the poor, in fact poorest.
But not in this
in
election.
This election is still our.
Ashwini ji, not in this election.
No.
In this election, you made it very clear that your agenda was something completely different.
In fact, municipal election is the lowest election. It's a totally ground level election. Municipal election is fought on the basis of electricity, water, cleaning, sewerage, etc. And we are winning municipal elections since last 13 years in Delhi, continuously. So allegation that we don't do the ground level work, we don't serve the people on the ground level, it's a totally myth. If we are winning election, local body election in Delhi, then definitely it's a proof that we work on the ground.
Sir, can I just ask you, one of the support bases, key support bases used to be traders and shopkeepers. But the MCD, after the BJP came in a big way, started sealing shops, closing them down. Did you lose a lot of support in your core area?
This, in fact, this was due to the a order of the Supreme Court. BJP is not responsible for that. BJP did, in fact, BJP provided them, helped them through the parliament, through the law. We legalized the colonies, we legalized the areas which were not part of our insure system. And second, through the law, we ensure that there will be no sealing. So this didn't BJP. It was done by the BJP, not by the Aadmi party.
But Ashwini ji,
in fact, the allegation that we do.
Ashwini ji, technically you may be right that it was actually the Supreme Court that was behind the sealing drive, though you got, in a sense, the negative impact of it. But I think what may have hurt you, especially amongst traders, may actually be GST. That upset a lot of people in the trading community, and they say has affected their businesses as well.
Sir, we have done a lot of modification in the GST. GST helps the traders. GST not against the trader. GST helps the common man. GST helps the trader also. And we have eased it too much. In fact, at least there were frequent changes in every 6 months. Every year there were some minor changes after the discussion with the traders. So this is this allegation that we are against the traders. Yeah, traders are worried due to GST. This is not good. GST helps the traders, and one nation, one tax.
Think your party has made in this election in Delhi? If you had to do an honest introspection, what do you think those mistakes are?
Every election in every state, the election is BJP versus all. In Delhi also, it's a one side of BJP, another side is the Congress, Sapa, Baspa, and Aam Aadmi party. It's a BJP versus all election, and if you see the vote percentage, still we have increased. In fact, it's a more than 40%, and more than 40% vote is a good enough. It's not a less vote.
All right, so no mistakes made yet. We'll talk again in a few hours. Thank you very much, Ashwini Upadhyay of the BJP, for joining us. We will take a break. Yes, we will take a break and be back in a couple of minutes.
सर टैलेंट तो मिल जाएगा, पर 1 महीने का ब्रोकरेज लूंगा।
घर मेरा, फर्नीचर मेरा और 1 महीने का ब्रोकरेज आपका।
ब्रोकरेज क्यों देना? nobroker.com है ना। Meet Mr. Ahuja. 10 kilometers daily. Mrs. Ahuja. #YogaLife. That's Rohit. He's vegan. And Julie, the organic farmer. The Ahuja family does everything to stay healthy. Almost everything. Indoor pollution is as harmful as outdoor pollution. That's why we're introducing Higher PuriCool AC with a built-in air purifier. It doesn't just cool, it cleans. Higher, inspired living.
Wouldn't it be great if all your business apps work together as one? Introducing an all-in-one app suite to run your entire business at one place, at one price. Zoho One, the operating system for business.
Meet Mr. Ahuja. 10 kilometers daily. Mrs. Ahuja. #YogaLife. That's Rohit. He's vegan. And Julie, the organic farmer. The Ahuja family does everything to stay healthy. Almost everything. Indoor pollution is as harmful as outdoor pollution. That's why we're introducing Higher PuriCool AC with a built-in air purifier. It doesn't just cool, it cleans. Higher, inspired living.
Welcome back. Well, it looks like the picture is clear. Abhi picture baki nahi hai. The Aam Aadmi Party is sweeping the Delhi elections with perhaps more than 55 seats. That is the latest leads position. There are some seats though where it's still a very, very close fight, Vasu. But it's pretty clear who's forming the government in Delhi now.
Yeah, I think from here, Baj, you'd say that the Aam Aadmi Party is in a very, very comfortable position and may even improve a little bit from here.
Yeah, the BJP has about 10 or 7 seats which are under 1,000 margin at the moment, and AAP has a couple as well. But
so it's BJP's leads are coming more from narrow margin seats, which is not good for the BJP because
And
it can end up losing them as well.
How many rounds to go?
that we don't know, but you can assume we're only about halfway through just now.
Okay, so
you asked that question rather hopefully, but there's
still a few hours
easy,
to go.
yeah, there's no quick exit here. So.
Let me get a quick sort of take on this from Mr. Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay first. What is this result telling you? Because this wasn't an election that was just about Delhi. This was an election the entire country was watching and a huge prestige battle. The BJP put everything into it. What are you taking away from this?
I think the basic message which comes from this is that the entire national narrative which the BJP did very well in 2019 Lok Sabha, it is not working in the states. It is not working when they are the incumbent government. It did not work very well for them either in Maharashtra, Jharkhand or even in Haryana where there was a decline in performance. It is also not working where they are a challenger. So when it comes to state elections, they have to go local. I think this is the big message which the voters are sending to the BJP. If they do not heed it, we face the possibility that between now and 22, the BJP may get sucked out of the entire country just the way that between 14 and 19 they went and really spread. It really became Congress Mukt Bharat. So suddenly it might become a BJP Mukt Bharat, as far as the heartland and the states are concerned.
Right.
I think this is something which the BJP would have to deliberate whether this is working or not. And I think you very rightly pointed, it was a very muted way that you pointed out, that the basic mistake which the government made with CAA is the aggression with which Mr. Amit Shah went and linked it to NRC. That became the real worry for people. I think it came up that the Assam experience also raised the fears of Hindus that we may not be able to show
And
documents.
as far as Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, I mean, Nidhi, AAP has just tweeted that. It's on the screen right now. Muffler man. So That's a. So it's like a party. It's like a it's a young party. So
but that, I mean, let's just talk a bit about Prashant Kishore and the way he's run this campaign. And this is a big success for him. And he's running your campaign in Bengal as well. And we're seeing a shift. We saw Arvind Kejriwal make a very clear, concerted shift in the way he was doing his politics over the last year or so. Mamata Banerjee seems to be doing the same. There seems to be a change in the way she's also taking on the BJP
That's
now.
actually a very good point, because if you see the common thread between both these two leaders, they've both dialed down their attack on Modi. Now, we can't give perhaps full credit to that for Prashant Kishore, but it is true that there's that common link.
Yes, it is very true. I agree with this analysis. You see, both the basic lesson that both these leaders seem to have learned is that, look, don't go too hi-fi, don't aim for the skies, instead stick to the ground and stick to your core competence, which is kind of connecting with common people. Mamata Banerjee went back to tea shops. She went from village to village, which is her core strength.
And also, if I may say so, spend the hell out of publicizing yourself. I mean, that's something that we don't acknowledge enough in terms of what's happening in Delhi. Kejriwal, RTI data has found, has spent 4 times as much as the Sheila Dikshit government. So he ended up spending 300 crores in his first 4 years versus 76 crores spent by the Congress government. So that's something that he's learned from the Modi playbook.
Muffler man. So that's another way the rest of the country is following Bengal. Muffler.
Muffler.
That's the
monkey cap would have
been. You say low base.
In winter, monkey cap
low threshold
would have been more appropriate
for warmth or cold.
Mufflers.
But that's something which I think is also interesting, that it's not just about your schemes, but it's also how you aggressively market them. That's very much the BJP playbook, and that's very much what Kejriwal is doing as well.
Mamata has always done that. Her blue bordered sari, Hawaii chappal, she has not changed at all. Blue lights everywhere.
I'm talking about how much you spend on publicity. So newspapers, hoardings, ads. I mean, it's just a wash when it comes to AAP.
But Vasu, there's a little bit of a caveat. Look at Mr. Amit Shah and this team just now, how much they made hate speech a strategy. And I'm not saying this as a vicious comment against the BJP at all. But just looking at it, hate speech as a strategy, not only in terms of the amounts of the visibility, but also the amount of money they spent. Now, I would say that going by this, would West Bengal also be now up for this unleashing of hate, hate as a strategy? And the second thing is that when you look at
just stick on that, because what people are saying that this was the most vitriolic, disgraceful campaign people have seen in the history of elections. And if this had gone in favor of the BJP, that would have become the new norm. And that is a big setback, and the setback for the BJP means they'll rethink perhaps.
So
or will they rethink the hatred part?
But the conflation of religion, of the Hindu religion with the hate speech, etc., in some sort of nationalism. So I would say here that it is worth saying something that I said earlier, that it is well recognized. If you talk to a Pandit, he will say, Hinsa duyate sa Hindu. The person who is furthest from Hinsa, from violence, that is a Hindu. So if that message has been buried by the BJP's, another interpretation of Hinduism, I don't know that they are going to change that for West Bengal. First of all, West Bengal is too close. Secondly, I want to know then what is the strategy? What is the core thinking that they are going to go with? Aam Aadmi Party has shown you that development and, maybe freebies that work, that didn't work, but development, and that's the message. So what is the message? When you look at the Honorable Prime Minister of the country, who said that there is a conspiracy in Shaheen Bagh and that this is an experiment, Shadyantra and Prayog. So I'm saying that as the Prime Minister, if you're saying it, so what were you doing?
So
why did
Shekhar,
you let a conspiracy
what do you feel about
fester?
this? Is probably the most vitriolic campaign and full of hatred, especially by even normally decent people like Anurag Thakur made to, said the most horrific things you never expect of him. If they're done well, that would have become the new norm. Are they going to carry on with that or not after this setback in results?
Well,
58 to 12.
Well, if they had succeeded, then definitely they would not have changed. But I would still say that for West Bengal, they are not going to change. West Bengal is not tomorrow. It's later. I think in Bihar, they might be quite restrained because Nitish Kumar will lead Bihar. And after this, Nitish Kumar's bargaining position is much better.
Good point.
So I think in Bihar you will find a little bit of a calm. But West Bengal, they have now invested so much time and energy and emotion in building just this. I disagree with Chari Saab and Mr. Nigam also when they say that this was about Assam, the NRC controversy, NRC CAA. It's about West Bengal.
Yes.
In Assam, in fact, the BJP has bowled a googly at itself, or Supreme Court has bowled a googly at it, because the Supreme Court led the NRC process in Assam, not the BJP government. That process is produced, and these are not errors. That process has produced more Hindu post-1971 immigrants than Muslims. It's not an error, it's the truth. Now to get around that, you passed CAA. So the message to Bengal is that the same thing will happen. A lot of Hindus and Muslims will be caught. Assam is not sui generis. Bengal is very similar to Assam. It's the same border, same population. Then they say, okay, we'll carry this many million Hindus, this many million Muslims. Then Hindus will be accommodated. Termites will be thrown into the Bay of Bengal.
In fact, Mamata Banerjee was the
first I
first
would
off
say
the block.
that while this will result in some calm in Bihar and this will give some respite to Nitish, otherwise they would have gone for Nitish's throat. But as far West Bengal is concerned, then to repeat an old slogan, Delhi keval jhanki hai, Paschim Bengal baki hai. That's going to happen soon enough.
If you look at one of our top VIP haters on our list, it's the West Bengal BJP president, Dilip Ghosh. He's uncontrollable. He says things like, we will bury you, we will treat you like dogs, and you call him and ask him on TV and he repeats it.
We shot anti-CAA protesters in other states and BJP rules
We shot them like dogs.
But Shekhar, you covered many elections. Was this the worst, most vitriolic, hate-filled campaign you've ever seen?
Well, for the prize that was on offer, it was quite a surprise, because really Delhi is half a municipality. It's not even a state government, because Lutyens Delhi is with the central government anyway.
It's high prestige.
The police,
bigger impact than the size.
The police and land. But for this to use this kind of language and this kind of method, but it was an experiment. There's been a change. There's been a change in the BJP's overall political outlook in the last 8 months, post 2019. It's become much more divisive than before, which is a surprise, because a less divisive method won them 2 general elections. But now suddenly to go this, there is a limit to which you can make 85% majority start fearing or start cowering in the fear of 15% minority.
Right. Okay, let's just, if we can just, sorry, just a second, because we also need to start going out and getting some reactions from the ground. So our colleague Anjali Istwal is back with us from AAP headquarters. Anjali, is there any more dancing that is now happening, or what's
and laddus?
How is now AAP celebrating, if at all now it's celebrating?
You can hear the dancing.
Okay, Anjali is with us, but it's also very noisy behind her, so
she can't hear us.
Anjali, I'm not, if you're able to hear us, go for it.
Okay. Yes, Vasu, I think you are on me right now, and I cannot make out what you asked, but I'll just try and show you what exactly is happening over here. This is the Aam Aadmi Party headquarters, and as you can see, there are a lot of people over here already celebrating, and they are expecting a very good result for the Aam Aadmi Party. Arvind Kejriwal is inside the office right now, and these are all the workers here. We're just going to talk to them and try and find out how optimistic they are. आप लोगों के जो कुछ बड़े नेता हैं वो थोड़ा ट्रेल कर रहे हैं अभी, तो अभी चिंता है या बिल्कुल चिंता?
नहीं मैम, कोई चिंता नहीं है। दिल्ली ने पूरा मैंडेट दिया है, 36 चाहिए, लेकिन हमें उम्मीद है 67 लास्ट टाइम आई थी, उस तक हम जरूर पहुंचेंगे, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। ये जीत दिल्ली की है और ये जीत जो है विकास की जीत है। ये इस देश के अंदर अभी राजनीति नहीं चलेगी जो धर्म के नाम पे की गई है। ये इतना बड़ा हमने देखा है पहली बार पोलराइजेशन जैसा, दिल्ली ने इसको नकारा है। इनको झारखंड में भी सबक सिखाया गया था और यहाँ दिल्ली में बता दिया गया है। और मैं रिंकी जी के पापा से कह देना चाहता हूँ कि वो कहाँ गए, उन्होंने 3 दिन से भ्रम फैला रखा है। 48 सीटों का कहाँ है वो 48 सीट? तो आपको समझना चाहिए ये जो है दिल्ली की जनता है, ये एजुकेटेड है, सब समझती है, अच्छे बुरे की हम लोगों को पूरी पहचान है।
ये बताइए मुझे, वोट तो पड़ चुके हैं, रिजल्ट आ रहे हैं, लेकिन अरविंद केजरीवाल को आप, क्योंकि हमें ये फीलिंग आ रही थी, अरविंद केजरीवाल को आप किस लेवल पे देखना चाहते हैं? सिर्फ दिल्ली में या आगे भी आप?
वो प्रधानमंत्री लेवल के ही आदमी है, धीरे धीरे जमीन से ऊपर जा रहे हैं। एक दिन वो होगा देश के प्रधानमंत्री, वही बनेंगे। देश विकास के मुद्दे पे चलेगा, देश तोड़ने की राजनीति से नहीं चलेगा, देश हिंदू मुस्लिम से नहीं चलेगा, देश विकास की नीति से चलेगा। ये लोग
जो फर्श पे है वो कल अर्श पे होगा, क्योंकि जो अर्श वाले थे वो फर्श पे आने लग रहे हैं। क्योंकि इस बार दिल्ली में झाड़ू ऐसी चली है कि मेहनत का फल है, भ्रष्टों की किताब नहीं है, मासूमों की दुआओं का हिसाब नहीं है। दिल्ली में केजरीवाल ने वो काम कर दिया जिसका किसी के पास में जवाब नहीं है।
अब देश की बारी है।
As you can see, Vasu, there is a lot of excitement here, and I must tell you, the supporters started coming in at around 7:30. All these paraphernalia that you're seeing around me, they were not even up at that point of time. But they started coming in. They've had that level of excitement up since then, you know. A lot of energy here, which we can also feel, and we are hoping as soon as the results are a little bit more clear, there is a stage which has been set up for Arvind Kejriwal. It is at the roof of the headquarters, and he will be coming and talking to the party workers over here.
Okay, thanks very much indeed, Anjali. So this is now the AAP, which has also, got into this whole idea of how to manage political events and how to manage the optics. And let's wait and see how that actually plays out. Baj, sorry, you were saying?
No, we were saying that BJP gains have been largest in the eastern part of Delhi, on the other side of the Jamna, rather than in central Delhi where they've gained only 2 seats, and in outer Delhi they've only gained 1.
Right.
The east is the smallest region of the 3, yet they've gained most there.
So that's where the regularization of colonies could have worked as a promise. Whether or not it was not.
No. So by the way, it's not regularization of colonies. DDA has made it clear that hold on. So the promise is that people who live in unauthorized colonies will get what is called Malikana Haq. So you'll be able to get property rights.
So that could have
But it's
worked.
not that you're necessarily, the colony doesn't become regularized.
That would have been outskirts of Delhi. I would say. I just want to ask Prannoy, in West Delhi, where Parvesh Verma, I think, rules, he's got a huge support base, we are told. So how is the BJP doing in West Delhi? And if they are doing well, that means that we are not through with this hate speech as a strategy?
So Nalini Singh, if you look at the map right now, so if you're talking of West Delhi as in, that particular seat, it's entirely up at the moment. The West Delhi Lok Sabha seat, that area.
But look at the one on top.
That is northwest.
Oh, northwest. So
that is northwest.
So what is?
No, but don't forget that West Delhi is a largely Jat majority area.
Yeah.
And Sahib Singh Verma, who was the tallest leader to emerge from there, was himself a Jat. Parvesh is a Jat himself. So there are 2 factors. One is, of course, the hate speech and whether it has catapulted Parvesh to a new status. But the other is his stable base of the Jat vote is already there with him. So I think.
I just want to say on this hate, on the use of hate as a strategy, I think the worrying thing for the BJP, we were talking about congressization of the BJP. The worrying thing about the BJP at the moment is what is happening to local leaders and what is happening to local units. Are you going to just move in the big two polarizing rhetoric and expect to win local elections and state elections? There you're falling into the prey of the high command trap. You're not actually nurturing the local leaders that the BJP was known for.
Yes.
You're not actually nurturing the local unit that you were known for. And the fact is that the BJP Delhi unit has been in disarray for a long time. It's highly factionalized between the Punjabi and the various other factions. Manoj Tiwari, from my point of view, is not the ideal leader for Delhi. He's he's in the Purvanchali. He's not a technocrat in that
Some of these
sense.
constituencies, Atishi is right now leading by just 6 votes in Kalkaji. That's how close it is. Just 6 votes. And Manish Sisodiya, the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, is trailing by more than 700 votes in Padpadganj to the BJP. So that would be a shocker.
How's Raghav doing? Raghav
And
Chaddha?
Raghav is in a comfortable lead. And I think Mr. Bagga of the BJP is also trailing
by 600.
by 600 plus votes.
BJP is leading in Okhla and Rangpura.
He's not a bad sort if you know him.
Both.
My gosh. Yeah, just ignore all the gali and goli, but inside he's a really good-hearted guy.
He's actually a teddy bear.
Galied me.
There is one more thing. I think the BJP has to think as to what is it that they could not build on the victories of the municipal elections in April 2017. That also marks the time when Kejriwal possibly realized the mistakes which he was making in the past of trying to make it too much of a personal fight, going back to governance, and of course the Supreme Court verdict in 18 helped him greatly to vindicate his position. I think Mr. Amit Shah should look back at his tenure as the party president to see as to where the BJP failed in Delhi, whereas they succeeded in other states.
Let me ask Chari, Sheshadri, are you listening to this? Are you, oh, you've just gone away for a moment. We'll come back to you. This whole question of whether this is the end of hate and vitriol in the future campaigns, or it's just going to carry on.
Let me begin because West Bengal is the next one. Who does that out there? It's the Mamata Banerjee. She's the one who stops the idol immersion.
And Mr. Dilip Ghosh?
See, as a reaction, it happens there. It will happen there.
Oh,
let me tell you. So let me tell you. So High Court had to intervene twice suo moto to allow the immersions.
That's unfair.
How about not reacting with the same vitriol?
You think politics is about not reacting?
Yes. In the 150th year of the Mahatma, perhaps.
So the fact
so it's
remains,
going to carry on.
So fact remains. Yes, if there will be something from the other side, there would be a response. But I expect everybody to tone down a bit and to call yourself back and focus on the real issues of West Bengal. And when West Bengal is number 1 and Bihar is number 2 in terms of GDP, I think we have to do some sort of introspection. The poverty, there's a huge amount of poverty there. And let's not go by just the numbers, and a lot of work is to be done in those two states.
No, West Bengal and Bihar are not number 1 in GDP. The rate of growth in the last 2 years has been the maximum. But that's given the very low base.
Yeah, that is what I'm
If
saying.
you look at it in absolute terms, it is. This is the economic fact. If you look at it in absolute terms, it's not the highest.
When you think Bengal, you think
Bihar can't have a high base.
We've got our colleague Akshay, who's at the Gold Market in Delhi, where I think the Aam Aadmi Party has started celebrations there. Akshay, what's going on? Okay. With the jhadu.
Well, Nidhi, if you can look here in the frame, you can see that all of the work earlier, looking a bit tense regarding the results that were rolling out, are very confident of the Aam Aadmi Party's victory now. Massive celebrations are going on. People with brooms in their hand have come out on the streets, and you can see there is a sea of Aam Aadmi Party supporters here outside the counting center where the counting is currently going on, and people have already started to come to celebrate as far as the victory of the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned. Also, what the people here are saying is that more people will be coming here as soon as there is some more confirmation regarding the victory of the Aam Aadmi Party. But people here can be seen very, very excited regarding the victory of the Aam Aadmi Party. We'll also try and go into क्या कहना चाहेंगे? क्या कहना चाहेंगे जीत के बारे में?
जीत के बारे में हमारी पूरी दिल्ली को बहुत खुशी है, बहुत खुशी है। ऐसा अरविंद नहीं मिलेगा दुनिया में, बहुत मुश्किल से मुख्यमंत्री मिला।
केजरीवाल का जो काम है, अब तक का जो काम किया हुआ है, आज पहली बार दिल्ली में ऐसे काम देख रहे हैं, तभी ये दूसरी बार जीत रही है और इतनी बहुमत से जीत रही है।
This is the mood of this particular area where supporters of Aam Aadmi Party have come and gathered and are celebrating. So definitely very, very thrilled. The Aam Aadmi workers here and they are celebrating, and these celebrations are set to go on for quite some time now, Nidhi.
Right.
So Vasu, I just want to repeat that the jhadu is sweeping this election.
We're waiting to see who's going to go with that first. It has to be you.
If you say in Hindi, the headline would be आम आदमी पार्टी ने झाड़ू लगा दिया.
अरे वाह.
बाकी सबको साफ कर दिया.
Exactly.
आम आदमी पार्टी की झाड़ू है, बाकी को साफ कर दिया.
बाकी को साफ कर दिया.
That is just terrible.
You know, West Bengal's per capita GDP is same as Rajasthan. It's not one of the lowest. They're very. This is the
There goes your low base.
Chhattisgarh is lower. Madhya Pradesh is lower.
You tell me it's like
Odisha is
Kerala,
low.
Andhra, or Tamil Nadu or Maharashtra. I will give you a point.
South India was. This is a North India phenomenon. We're discussing East India. We're not discussing South
Bengal
India.
all about
But you know, data actually shows that it's not north versus south, it's east versus west.
So
I'll send you those.
no, but I'm telling you right now, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Bengal is higher than all of them.
Where's the low base?
This is the economic
High
survey.
base and fastest growth
I shall
rate.
send you both the data.
No, here's the economic survey of India this year.
Central government
Table 29. Table A29. I'm just reading from there.
Now you're looking worried.
No, I'm not. I'm just looking amused.
Nalini Singh, sorry, just to look at now again, if you now look at the numbers, it's really turning out to actually be the Jhadu sweeping is 58-12.
Yeah.
So it could well be a scenario where the AAP actually crosses 60.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's heading into that zone. So the question really is, we keep talking about how the BJP deploys hate to counter its rivals. But when you have a situation like this, where you have a chief minister who's reasonably popular, his schemes seem to have a fairly high degree of popularity, what does the BJP then go with?
Well,
How do they challenge that?
So let me say, Aam Aadmi Party's characteristic is that you cannot pin it down. Is it left or is it right? Is it secular or is it fundamentalist? Is it socialist or is it capitalist? So I have a feeling that going with strident ideologies of any kind, that BJP will have to look at that again. And the other thing that I want to mention is that when the Gujarat elections were taking place, Amit Shah had said 150, 150 aayegi. So I realized that when the BJP got 99, that you have to discount Amit Shah's projections by 30%. But now I think you have to discount them by 70%. I always look for Amit Shah's predictions for what BJP will get, and I used to discount. But now I think the discount factor has increased. But I think that strident ideology, stridently hitting. Now tell me, is Pakistan here? Has Pakistan arrived?
I agree.
So,
I'm sorry I interrupted because we have to take a break.
Pakistan is one.
We have to take a break. Ads are very important. So we'll be back at the top of the hour.
I believe patake baj rahe Pakistan mein.